Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cece. Today's video is going to be on this makeup look, obviously. I wanted to do kind of like a little Valentine's inspired look with a little pop of color, but something still like wearable and like easy to do. I'm also using all drugstore products or really affordable products, so balling on a budget, I got you. Super quick but fun, different Valentine's Day look. If you want to see how I got it, then keep on watching. So I've already moisturized my skin, so I'm going to go right in with my foundation. Today, I think I'm going to use the Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage. It's 24-hour foundation. I'm in the shade 128 Warm Nude. Another one I use all the time though is the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. This one's in the matte and poreless, and I'm also 128 Warm Nude in that one. But for today, like I said, I'm going to use the Super Stay, so I'm just going to pump a couple pumps on my finger and then buff it out. Obviously, you will see I fake tan my body. I do not fake tan my face, so don't come for me for the color of this foundation. It matches my body. It'll all be even once we buff it out. Once that's all dabbed around, I'm just going to go in with my cosmetics brush and buff that in. I also find this foundation oxidizes, so it'll change color once it's like been exposed to the air and it sets, so just give it a minute. I know it looks a little crazy right now, but once it oxidizes, it turns into like more of a softer neutral color. I really like the coverage on this foundation. If you're looking for a little more of like a medium to full coverage, this is definitely for you. And once that's all buffed in, I'm going to go in with my Morphe sponge and just make sure everything is nice and blended. Like I said, I always like going in with the brush first and then going back over top with a sponge just to smooth out. And then for concealer, I'm going to be mixing two. I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 10 and then the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Porcelain. I'm going to go in first with the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer and just kind of take that right underneath the eye area. Not bringing it down too far. Pop a little on my forehead, chin, and then down my nose. Just give it a few seconds to dry down. I'm going to take that same Morphe sponge and press this in. Take a little bit up onto the eyelid as well to kind of just use that as like an eyeshadow base. I'm going to let that line on my nose dry down a little more. So now I'm going to go in with just a little bit of the LA Girl Pro Concealer on a brush and pop that right in that inner corner just for a little extra coverage and brightening. And then while that dries down, I'm going to go ahead and just fill in my brows using this NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And then I'm in the shade Ash Brown. This is a really good like drugstore eyebrow product. So I'm just going to go in really lightly and fill in kind of those sparse areas where my brows don't have hair. Okay, brows are looking pretty good. Now that that concealer has dried down a bit, just go back in with that same Morphe sponge. Okay, so woo! Next I'm going to go in with another LA Girl Pro Concealer. This one is in the shade Toast. Definitely a deeper shade, so I just use a very like little amount. The usual spots. And for my nose contour, I'm going to put some directly on my BH Cosmetics brush. And then go in with the brush. Then you already know I'm going with my e.l.f. stippling brush, and I'm just going to use that to buff it out. For how affordable this concealer is, it really is nice. Like, it buffs out really easily. The color is good. You see how nicely that like blended out versus how harsh. I mean, it looks so harsh, but it really blends nicely. Alright, so now that that's all buffed out, I'm going to go ahead and buff out the nose contour using another BH Cosmetics brush and kind of working that up into the eyebrow. Make sure it's nice and blended. That's really going to give you like that seamless look. And then just working my way down, blending this out. You know the drill. Voila. Looking nice and blended. So now I'm just going to make sure there's no creasing in any of the concealer. And then we're going to take one of my favorite powders, the original Airspun Loose Face Powder. This is like $5 to $7, super affordable. It looks great on the skin. So if you guys are looking for a new powder, highly recommend this. I kind of switched over. I used to use the Laura Mercier powder like every day. And I was just blowing through it too quickly, and it's like 40-ish bucks, you know, whatever. So I learned, or I heard about this dupe, and when I first tried it, I was shook. And it's so cheap. And this one, like, container has lasted me, like, it's a pretty good size. Look how much powder. Like, it's big. So anyway, I'm going to just dip into that with my Morphe sponge, tapping the excess on my hand first, like I do, to make sure it's not clumpy. Pressing, like, a light layer into the skin to set everything. And then I'll go back over with a little more powder to kind of really bake and brighten. I'm going to press that on the top of my forehead as well. And then on my chin and around my smile lines. So now using that reverse side of my Morphe sponge, I'm going to go down the sides of my nose, just to sharpen that contour a bit, make it a little more defined. Okay, now the nose powder is set, I'm going to go back in underneath the eye with another like light-ish layer of the powder, just to kind of help brighten everything up. Perfect, okay. I'm going to let that nose bake sit for a sec. I'm going to go ahead and go in with a powder bronzer. This is the NYX matte bronzer. I don't think it has, oh, Deep Tan is the shade. It's pretty tan for me, so I have to be super light-handed with it, but it does give you that really nice kind of warm, these clips are not doing it for my hair, that warm, you know, bronzy look. So I'm just going to tap into that super lightly. And just go around the perimeter of my face and warm up the skin. Okay, now that we're all nice and bronzed, I'm going to go back in with the Morphe sponge, and on that pointed edge, I'm just going to lightly bake underneath my cheekbones to kind of sharpen up that, you know, bronzer and whatnot. For the eyeshadow today, I'm going to be using this Milani. I haven't used this yet, so I'm super excited to try it. It's called the Soft and Sultry palette. It's like mirrored, so it's hard to see, but anyway, you get the idea. And then these are all the colors, so it's like a really pretty kind of smoky mauve nude vibed palette. I got this off Amazon for like $12. I really love Milani. I would say my two favorite drugstore makeup brands are Maybelline and Milani. My double M's, baby. Products are really great in my opinion. Maybelline is like my go-to for a lot of products. Okay, so I'm going to take on one of my Morphe brushes. This is the M535. I'm going to dip into this shade called In the Buff, and just use that as my base shade. And just buff that all around. I really wasn't sure what kind of look I wanted to do today, like for a Valentine's Day look. I know I wanted to keep it like kind of neutral and do like an easy, like realistic situation. So I'm excited to do like a little pop of color, but nothing too crazy. Because for my everyday makeup, I don't usually do a whole lot of color. So I'm just gonna buff that in all over. It's a really nice like transition base shade. Gives you a little bit of color, but nothing too crazy. Now that the base shade is down, I think I'm gonna go in and kind of mix these two shades together, like the two outer corners, Smokin' Hot and Tantation. This is a little more cool tone, this is a little more warm tone, so I'm just gonna kind of mix the two. I don't know. Pop this a little more like in my actual crease. And this is the Morphe Y15 brush. I'm just gonna give my eye a little definition here. But we're not focusing too much color on the actual lid. You know what, I'm going to go in with my Morphe M506 brush so I can get a little more into my actual crease and define that shape a bit. And then go back in with the Morphe brush and kind of buff it out. Pretty. I really like the tones in this palette. Very cool toned. Looking pretty good. Just gonna build it up a little more. Just kind of right along my actual lid and then buff it out. And this is that clean brush I keep on the side and I use just to blend everything together after each step. Looking good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye. How are we looking? Go ahead and dust away this bake using my big fluffy Real Techniques brush. I just don't want that to be too harsh, so let's go ahead and dust it away. So pretty. This powder really just gives you such a great finish for how affordable it is. It's wild. And then go ahead and dust away that nose bake as well. Okay, back to the eyes. I'm going to zoom you in because today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to be creating kind of like a winged eyeliner look, but with eyeshadow. So I'm going to use a darker brown. I'm going to use this kind of more cool toned brown shade. This is called Naughty Night. And I'm going to I want to create that kind of like winged eyeliner look, but I don't want it to be too harsh. So using the eyeshadow really kind of softens the whole look. So I'm going to use this is from Sigma Beauty, small angle E65 brush. So I'm going to dip into that shadow, and then with the brush pointed like up, kind of in that wing shape, I'm going to go ahead and create that wing. So let me focus. Pretty. Kind of just gives you that a softer like look to it than using kind of a gel or pen eyeliner. I'm gonna dip into the next shade on the bottom. It's Untamed. It looks black, but it's really like a dark brown. And I'm gonna just kind of lightly go over, now that we have this shape, I'm going to lightly go over the wing with this just to deepen it a little. but not make it too harsh. Just make it a little more like defined. Pretty. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side because Lord knows to make these even I really have to focus, so I'll be right back. Alright, how we look? Pretty even? I like to take my wing, kind of stop it like almost in the middle of my eye, just to kind of help create that like lifted look, but without being too like dramatic, if that makes sense. Get the better view. But I just like the way it looks when you do it with an eyeshadow because it's just so much softer. I never usually do a wing because I don't like how harsh it looks, but using eyeshadow just makes all the difference. Okay, I'm going to go in with this liquid eye, I don't know why it says liquid because it's definitely a pencil. It's definitely a drugstore brand. I have no idea where I got it from. It's called Jordana Cosmetics. Basically just a brown, like a dark brown. So I'm going to use that just to kind of tight line underneath. And then take it down to the bottom lash line as well. Again, I like using browns because they're a little less harsh. Voila. Okay, now it's time for the fun part. We're going to add a little bit of pop of pink on the inner corner just because it's Valentine's Day. Obviously, we need to give it a little bit of color. Pink spreads, you know, the vibes. So for the pink, I'm going to be using the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I know you can't find BH Cosmetics like in a drugstore, but this whole palette was like $10 to $12 from Amazon. I basically just have it for whenever I need like any type of rainbow color, and then it has blacks and whites on the bottom, so it's kind of a nice palette to have, but definitely super affordable, so definitely still falls within our drugstore affordable makeup theme. So now we have to decide which pink. I'm almost thinking like maybe I'll mix these two. I like how bright this is. This is a little more corally to me, but this might be too bright, so let's mix these two. Pop those right on the inner corner. I'm super excited. Hopefully this looks cute. We will see. Go in with this kind of bullet brush from Sephora and use that to pop the color like right in our inner corner. So let's give it a go. There's a little bit of like sparkly reflex in the lighter pink color, so I feel like that'll be pretty. Just gonna take it up a little more onto like the top of the lid in the inner corner and just diffuse it out. But I'm liking it. I think it's cute. Once we have lashes and mascara on, I think it's pretty. Like I said, let's pop some lashes on and mascara and all that jazz and kind of see if we need to tweak it anymore. Do you guys have any plans for Valentine's Day? I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. Last year, my boyfriend and I just stayed in and like just drank champagne, you know. I think we cooked, which is honestly just as good to me because I feel like, especially in New York, places, they just jack up the prices. But I think this year we might go out just because we haven't in a while, but we'll see. And then I'm going to go in with this Clinique High Impact Mascara. I don't know where I got this, like a little mini version, but let's try it out because I think Clinique qualifies as a drugstore, right? I think so. So just give our lashes a nice coat. Go ahead and pop some on the bottom as well. Okay, now that mascara is on, I'm going to go ahead and apply my favorite drugstore lashes. They're the Ardell Demi Wispies in the faux mink style. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop those on off camera and I'll be right back. Ta-da! Okay, lashes are on. I love this pair because it just gives you kind of that nice sort of cat-eye look, so it's really pretty with the wing. And I'm liking this pink. I think it's cute. It's like a fun little pop of color. So I'm just going to take on this flat top brush the mix of those two kind of medium shades and just buff that along my lash line really quick because I forgot to do that before I put mascara down. So we're just going to go right under it. And just connect the two. Perfect. Let's finish the face and then we'll be done. So for blush, I'm going to use one of my favorites, my Milani shade 02 Rose d'Or Baked Powder Blush. So I'm just going to dip into that with my brush. This blush is really pretty because there's that kind of gold reflect in it already. So I really don't find myself using too much highlighter when I put this blush on because it kind of already gives you that nice glow. And then I like to just take the excess on my forehead and like around my face to kind of bring the color. Perfect. Okay. And then for my highlighter, this is honestly one of my favorite highlighters of all time. Please excuse the appearance of mine. I literally have it rubber banded together because it's this well loved. But it's the Maybelline Molten Gold Master Chrome Highlighter. This is the bomb. If you don't have this, you need this. It's just such a good highlighter. The pigment is great. It's like a really nice gold. So anyway, like I said, in the Milani blush, there's already kind of that bit of reflect. So I'm just gonna kind of go right underneath my brow with this and just kind of highlight there. I'm gonna do a little on the tip of my nose and like a little on the bridge. I'm going to put some on my Cupid's bow. And a dab on my chin. Before I forget, let me just run through my brows with this pomade, also from NYX. It's a tinted brow mascara. This is in Brunette. Give my brows a little more life once we're done with everything. And this one's nice too because it's tinted, so it gives you a little extra pigment. A little extra color. Okay, onto lips and then we're done. I know what lipstick I'm gonna be using. Yup, okay, so, oh my god, I don't know if I have a Drugstore lip liner. I'm gonna use this lip liner. It's MAC, so it's definitely not Drugstore, but not super expensive. So let's just go with that. Because I actually just realized I don't have a Drugstore lip liner. Going with this, it's kind of nice. Neutral. Oh, it's in Subculture. That's all on. I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline. Oh my god, I was like, what brand is this? This is the Maybelline 910 lipstick in Bare All. It's just a really nice light nude. So I'm gonna go in with this guy. And just pop that over top. Oh, it's kind of light, isn't it? Okay, I'm going to take this NYX matte lipstick in Butter Brouille. It's a little bit of more like a brown. I'm just going to go on the like outer corners just to kind of like deepen this look up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. So a little bright before. Last but not least, let's set everything together. I'm going to be using my Morphe Continuous Mist Setting Spray. Take my clips out. Get my hair. I have no idea how I'm going to do my hair, so I'll just leave it like this for now. But yeah, here is the final look. I think it's so pretty. It's like a fun little way to incorporate color into your look without kind of being too dramatic. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for future videos you want to see, or if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.